Y'all want to watch a movie that will give you more whiplash than Drew Sidora's divorce? The story begins 11 years ago, with Justine and her husband exchanging blows in their bedroom. And it's not the kind of blows you're thinking. The fight escalates to the point where Justine pulls a gun on Ralph. He brazenly dares her to pull the trigger, and then a gun goes off. In the present day, Jordan is preparing a cup of coffee for herself while being anxious. Her husband Adam walks in and hugs her to calm her down, reminding her that they were able to make sure their daughter was never tardy for school, and now she's going to college. Suddenly, Priscilla walks in and teases them about being all loved up. Apparently, Jordan is a successful magician, delivering babies. When she goes over to kiss her daughter,
Ma, I don't know where your mouth has been.
Neither does your dad, but do you see him complaining?
Adam mentions that they'd be spending the summer vacation at their lake house, and Priscilla replies that they wouldn't be getting rid of her easily since she'd be coming over with her friends to party. When Priscilla and her parents arrive on UCS's campus, they help her move into her dorm room. After they've moved in her boxes, Adam advises her to do all she wants as long as she doesn't get pregnant. They all laugh about it, she assures them she will remain good, and they all say their goodbyes. 11 years ago, after the fight between Justine and her husband that led to his death, Justine was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to life in prison. Years later, she is working out in the prison yard when she is approached by Dyke, who threatens to beat her up. A fight breaks out, and Justine beats everyone before being dragged off by the guards. Soon after, Justine is released from prison. She arrives at a hairdresser's place and asks the lady, Lady J, to do her hair, and shows her an Instagram photo of Jordan as an example. Lady J comments that they look alike and decides to grab one of her shake-and-go wigs to fix Justine's hair. At their lake house, Adam and Jordan are celebrating the fact that they are finally alone, unaware that they are about to have company. There is a knock on the door, and Jordan is surprised to see Justine at the door. Justine says she got out early, and Adam is shocked because Jordan never mentioned she had a foin twin. Jordan introduces them. Adam mentions he never knew she even had a sister. Jordan promises to explain everything to him later, and he heads in to give them some space to talk alone. When they settle to talk, Jordan asks what Justine is doing out, and she replies that she got out early on account of good good behavior. Jordan is flustered and asks why Justine has made herself look like her and how she managed to track her down. Justine replies that they are twins and that when she was in prison, she had access to Instagram and followed Jordan. It was from there that she figured out that Jordan and Adam come to the lake house every summer. Back in the room, a confused Adam calls his daughter and informs her of what's going on.
What if I'm attracted to the twin? And she's attracted to me.
Boy, calm your tits. Immediately after hanging up the phone, he hears a gunshot and rushes out to see what is going on. He sees Justine lying on the floor and Jordan in a panic. When he asks what happened, Jordan tells him that Justine pulled a gun and tried to shoot herself, and as she tried to stop her, the gun went off. Adam hurries back in to call an ambulance, and they rush Justine to the hospital. I bet you can guess the twist already. When they return home from the hospital, Jordan, still saddened by the incident, goes to Adam for comfort. After consoling her, he asks why she did not tell him about her twin sister. She replies that there are some people in her life she would rather forget, with her twin at the top of that list. Jordan promises to tell him what happened between them when she feels ready, and Adam assures her that he will be there for her. Can we just say that these two are fine, including those twins? The next morning, Adam walks into the kitchen and finds Jordan smiling, apparently feeling better. She thanks him for helping her process her emotions the previous night and says she feels blessed to have him in her life, adding that he is the man she has always wanted. Adam is surprised by her choice of words, given that they have been married for 20 years. She explains that the range of emotions she is experiencing after the previous day's events is causing her to express herself differently. Just drop the twist already. She then tells him that she is ready to talk about her twin and begins explaining how they were separated at birth after entering the foster care system. This led to Jordan being adopted, while Justine was not as fortunate. They reconnected years later after their father, who had raised Justine following his release from prison, had died. When Jordan's adoptive parents learned about Justine, they were initially upset, but eventually allowed her to stay with them. Adam is surprised by this revelation, as he believes Jordan's adoptive father would never have taken in a stranger. Jordan becomes upset at this remark, and the conversation escalates into an argument, which only subsides when she admits that Justine brings the worst out of her. After Adam leaves for work, Jordan visits Priscilla at her school. She comments on Priscilla's beauty, and Priscilla jokes that she's been hearing that all week. When Jordan doesn't laugh, Priscilla comments that Jordan usually laughs at her jokes, but Jordan deflects the question. Priscilla then mentions that her father mentioned Jordan's twin to her the last time they spoke, and Jordan takes her to a restaurant to tell her about her aunt. To Jordan's surprise, Priscilla seems to think having Justine as an aunt is cool. Priscilla then asks about Justine's condition, which Jordan doesn't know. As they speak, Jordan receives a call and is told that her twin is awake. At the hospital, Adam and Jordan are told that Justine will never be able to recover her memories and can only make new ones. When they take her home, Jordan offers Justine wine, and as they drink, Justine asks Jordan to tell her some things to see if she could relive those memories, and Jordan tells her about their lives. This ultimately leads her to mention that Justine was sent to prison for killing her husband. When Justine asks the reason she did this, Jordan responds that she only knows what Justine told her, and that is she got angry because he was still breaking his baby mama's back and a fight ensued, ending up with Justine shooting him. The next day, Adam mistakes Justine for Jordan, and he slaps her booty. He runs off when Priscilla comes to find out what the commotion was about. Priscilla then informs Jordan that she's going over to her friend's house, Jenny. When Jordan asks her to have fun, Priscilla reminds her that she hates Jenny, and Jordan replies that, with all that is going on with her sister, she wasn't really paying attention. This family was really born yesterday. When they're alone, Jordan and Justine settle down to talk. Jordan surprisingly offers her $10 million because she feels responsible for Justine's memory loss. Jordan says she lied about what actually happened when Justine was shot. Justine never actually tried to kill herself. In fact, Justine apparently had threatened Jordan for money. But when Jordan reached for the gun, it misfired and Justine got hit instead. As a result, Jordan feels responsible for Justine's memory loss. That's the most contrived story. We already know she's lying. The next day, Jordan tries to convince Adam to help Justine get back on her feet, but they disagree on how to do so. While Adam wants to help her secure a job through his connections, Jordan insists that he lend Justine $10 million. This disagreement causes Adam to storm off. Yeah, because $10 million is absolutely crazy. As he leaves, Priscilla enters and asks why her mother is upset. Jordan explains that the situation with her twin has left her on edge. So Priscilla makes a joke to ease the tension.
This week, I only had 7 different people. Usually I'm averaging like 12.
When you talk like that, you sound like you have loose lips.
Jordan snaps at her. Priscilla is taken aback, as she often jokes this way with her mother. Scolding her harshly, Jordan calls her a little hoe, which prompts Priscilla to leave. Realizing her mistake, Jordan follows her and apologizes. Jordan explains that she has been overwhelmed and suggests they spend time together as a peace offering. The next day, Jordan and Priscilla go out for pizza. While eating, Jordan reveals that she has been considering divorcing Adam. This shocks Priscilla, who asks why her mother would want to do that. Jordan explains that she has been reevaluating her life ever since Justine reappeared. Later, Jordan meets with their family lawyer, Marcia, to ask how much she might receive in a divorce settlement. Marcia is surprised by the question, but informs her that she would be financially secure if she proceeded with the divorce. When Jordan asks for a copy of their prenup, Marcia laughs and explains that she and Adam never signed one. Jordan visits Adam at his office and informs him that she intends to divorce him. When he asks for an explanation, she offers a "it's not you, it's me" response. As he tries to persuade her to reconsider, she tells him that Marcia will handle everything and leaves. Afterwards, Jordan goes to the bank to do business. While there, she steps aside to make a phone call, instructing someone to be ready to leave in a few days. Once she finishes, she exits the bank and drives away, unaware that Justine is following her. Justine tracks her to a location where Jordan meets a man, embraces him, and exchanges something with him. Justine then follows the man to his home, but as she approaches him, he pulls a gun on her. Meanwhile, at a restaurant, Adam and Priscilla discuss Jordan's recent behavior. Priscilla mentions that Jordan agreed to go out for pizza, which surprises Adam, as Jordan dislikes pizza. They begin to question whether it was truly Jordan or Justine impersonating her and decide to investigate further. I mean, we've been known that. When Justine returns home, she immediately confronts Jordan, claiming that she now knows the truth. The man she followed turns out to be their Uncle Ray, who revealed everything to her. It turns out Justine has been impersonating Jordan all along. When Justine first visited Jordan after her release, she forced Jordan, at gunpoint, to switch clothes with her before shooting her. Justine blames Jordan, claiming that the situation arose because Jordan failed to honor their agreement after Justine took the blame for killing her husband. The conflict between Justine and her husband began when he believed he had seen her with another man in their house. In reality, it was Jordan he had seen trifling. During the confrontation that followed, Justine fired at him but missed. As he attempted to flee, he was hit by Jordan, who had driven over at Justine's request. Worsening the situation, Jordan mistakenly shoots him with the gun she took from Justine when he startles her. Justine decides to take the blame after making a deal with Jordan to make sure she's good when she's out. However, Jordan's white father convinces Jordan to make Justine fully confess, but this would cause Justine to get life in prison instead of a 10-year sentence. This double cross caused Justine to want revenge. With the truth fully revealed, the two women begin to fight. During the struggle, a gun is discharged. Shortly afterwards, paramedics arrive to take one of them away, and a police officer asks Jordan if she is all right. She replies that she will be. And of course, we're stuck with not knowing if she's the real Jordan or Justine. But are we shocked at this Tubi ending? We all saw that twist coming, but I was not expecting Jordan to be evil. What did you guys think of this one?
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because YouTube isn't recommending my videos. So, if you like to watch more foolishness, you can click here or here.